Hey guys, welcome back. I told you I was going to be hanging out with you yet again today. So now we are doing cocktails instead of coffee. And I am joined by my good friend. This is SG Tosh. And she has been going through all the fun, drama, chaos of book release. You guys have been hearing me talk about getting ready with Envy coming out next month. But she actually has her book coming out next Tuesday. So this is the Death by Misadventure series. So tell us a little bit about the series.
All right, so the series is a gothic urban fantasy set in Las Vegas, which is where we live.
Of course.
And it's the main character is Adina Venture, who is a ghost assassin, which means she can turn herself invisible and incorporeal, and she uses that skill to kill bad guys, and makes it look like, kind of ridiculous accidents, hence the title, Death by Misadventure. And in the first book, she's accused of a murder that she didn't commit, and she has to prove her innocence. But while she's doing it, she has to be magically bound to a haughty British investigator man. So
yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be tied to any investigator, because I feel like I would just somehow incriminate myself on accident because I talk too much anyway.
Well,
so then that series goes on. I know you, I believe it's book 3 is set in Whitechapel.
That's right. Yep.
So it does actually travel around. It's not all set here in Vegas.
Yeah. The first book is really the most heavily real Vegas set. Like, I use sort of pseudonyms, but you can tell if you know the map of the strip, like kind of where things are. And then the second one is in the desert area outside of Vegas, partially. And the third one is in London. And then the fourth one is in Vegas and a completely made up shadow realm, hence the Death in the Shadows. I'm not going to say anything else because it's major spoilers for Death in Whitechapel. So,
well, and we don't want to give it away, especially because you want somebody to get excited and get the whole series.
Right, and this is theoretically the last book. So this will be, you can read it and be done with it right then if you want.
And we say theoretically because we all know that there's always side adventures. And
there's always
potentially one
potential,
more.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know you've got a special on BookBub. What is that one right now?
So that's on book 1, which looks like this. And it is, the ebook is 99 cents today and tomorrow. So that's what that is.
So rush, get it now before it goes away again.
Yes.
And then are you doing any other specials, any bonuses, any other build-up or anything getting ready?
That's it for now. This is actually, if you pre-order the ebook before Tuesday, you get $1 off the regular price. So that's the reason to buy it early. And then this will be available in Kindle Unlimited, regular ebook, paperback, and then there will be a hardcover special edition with some extra art and some extra material, and that'll be out before Halloween sometime. I'm not quite sure when.
A good time would be the Las Vegas Book Festival.
That's what I'm aiming for. Yeah.
So we will actually be at the Las Vegas Book Festival. If you guys were around last year, you probably ran into us losing our minds and selling like crazy. She sold out and had to be restocked. I just set my soul on fire in a very warm dress while we were in the sun. And
I didn't even I didn't have my hardcovers then. They were on their way. They were 3 days after the festival, and I didn't get a chance to sell them. So this year I should have all the paperbacks, all the hardcovers, everything I've got to the most recent book that's out.
And then you have another series as well, the Dead Mall series.
The Dead Mall series, that's more paranormal comedy adventure, kind of written conceptually as a horror comedy, but it ended up being more urban fantasy adventure. And that's about 2 teenage kids set in that get locked in a half-abandoned mall overnight, find out it's full of monsters, and that the security guards and janitors are fighting them back every night, kind of like a D&D team fighting the monsters every night.
I know a lot of people that are D&D fans, so
I'm a D&D fan.
You are one of them. Yes. So do you think that series helped inspire or lead you into this series?
Yeah, I would say so. That series, you can definitely see how my writing kind of got more mature and changed, and it definitely started out as, I didn't really write it YA, but you can tell that it's not quite as developed. The themes are a little bit simpler. It's a lot of fun, But it was definitely leading into
Your learning series.
yeah, for sure. Every series is kind of a learning series.
That's
like
true,
this
that's true.
one, for this book, talking about releases, like for the first book, I felt like as you said, my hair was on fire for it because I was just like, oh my God, I need to amass, ARC readers, and I need to do a newsletter, and I have all this stuff. And by the time I get to this one, which is only 2 years later after this one came out,
Right.
it's still stressful, but I'm like, oh, I got to make a newsletter, boop, 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 real quick, send it out, put my ads together, done. Like, it goes a lot faster once you've done it a few times.
Well, that's true. I mean, I've got with my newsletter my format that's like the little save template, and then I just sort of plug in the information. If you guys, those of you that subscribe to my newsletter, and it has like the on the journey and like the Q&A and the where we're going and all this stuff. If you read her newsletter, hers is all about like going to a cafe and getting appetizers.
The book cafe,
yes. Yeah. I'm not ashamed to admit that I have stolen many, many ideas from this lovely lady. But
I'm flattered.
while we don't write the same genre, we are very similar in a lot of our styles, and that's one of the reasons why we do partner up quite a bit. So.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we do. For example, we both have crows. You can see the crows are on my cover. You've got Poe here. You've got crows in your book.
Yes, and if
different genres, similar kind of.
Yes, and if you do see us both out together, you'll also meet Guillermo, which is her bat.
Yes, he's at home right now. I meant to bring him and then forgot. So.
And it's funny, I almost texted you to bring him, and I was going to bring their little headsets and let them, just sit there and talk, and then I forgot, because if you guys have been hanging out with me all day, you know that I was on Trope or No Trope like an hour ago. And so as soon as I got done with that, I was throwing everything in the car to come over here. We are actually hanging out in Henderson at the Deadwood Meadery.
So good.
They are one of our signing partners, and they are one of our favorites to hang out with. So we are... You're drinking the Umbra.
The Umbra, yes.
Which is our dark vampire blood.
Yeah, I think it tastes kind of raspberry. I didn't fully get the whole list of ingredients. I just know I like it because I've had it before. So.
And mine is definitely one of my favorites. This is called Thelma's Kitchen. It's basically a peach cobbler in a glass. So a little bit of sweet, a little bit of tart
stuff.
Yes, yeah, they do a lot really of good stuff. And they're always doing fun experimental ones too, which is cool. And you can see there's a TV going on a little bit above us, but we just kind of took over the corner, so we're hanging out. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I want to say it's maybe Old Zoy, but I'm not sure.
It was music videos the last time I was here, so there's always something going on. But it's fun. It's a fun place to hang out. And next weekend is their 3-year anniversary here.
I saw, so yeah.
We were here last year for their anniversary.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, it's been a year already.
And then September 5th will be the next of our signing group. They will be hanging out here. So we've got them. And then in November is our last one for the year here, and the week right before Thanksgiving. So, and I will be here for that one. And so will half of us, because we all come in to celebrate and support each other and drink.
Yeah. I was going to say, I won't be signing that day, but I'll probably be here that day.
And if I wasn't going to be hanging out in Seattle getting ready for the cruise, I would be here in September.
Yeah, for sure.
Any excuse to come and support each other and our partners.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's just a fun place to hang out.
So, what is next after this series?
So after this series is a little bit, I'm kind of forcing myself to take a break, I guess, even though I have already started writing the next series. I've started sort of doing background history and
So you got your Poe and your new shiny objects.
I do. It's actually a snake because it's going to be about Medusa.
Okay.
So it's not a retelling. It's a new story set in present day, another urban fantasy where Medusa teams up with the Minotaur to go murder the gods that have wronged them.
I support this.
Yes. I found a lot of people do when I tell them about the idea.
Well, anybody that's read the Sin series knows I am a big fan. Hi, Mom. My mom's watching. Knows that I'm a big fan of anything revenge, and of course, strong women, especially ones that don't seem like they should be strong women and taking over. I like it. I bring them in. I'm like, all right, let's do this. Now, I do a lot of stuff set more historical.
Right.
Yours are more set current, or at least
current for sure.
Current-ish.
Yeah, they're usually set in So recently I'd had some writing coaching that I underwent. And one of the things they kind of told me was to sort of pick a lane. And my lane, I've chosen the very broad lane of urban fantasy. So that can be, I like writing magic set in the real world, but I'm going to take that very, very, very broad. So I'm doing urban fantasy, Greek mythology, and we'll see how that goes.
When somebody told me that I had to pick one, I was like, I'm going to pick suspense thriller because there is no broad in that at all.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess I could have done that too, but mine's always magic. So it's also always
And I've got a little, mine always has some level of paranormal. Like I have a thriller coming up that is based on a ghost story from the past, but it's set in modern day. Mostly because I like technology and I really want to use it. And I'm sick of having to make everything 1692.
What ghost story is it? Is it like a well-known one? Or?
No, it's actually kind of you guys remember the signing that I did in Chattanooga, Tennessee? The hotel that we signed at was haunted. And there was a brutal murder in one of the rooms, and I'm going to base it on the woman that was killed in that room, and then her spirit possessing someone down the line to help them get revenge on the bloodline of the person that killed her.
Oh, nice.
So
another revenge story.
Yeah, I do like my revenge.
Yeah.
Now
revenge is fun. This one has revenge in it too, kind of.
It's a good trigger.
She starts with revenge and then goes into more mystery, but.
Now, Mom, I know you actually read a lot of the suspense thrillers. You're not a huge paranormal person, but do you have any questions with anything with the books? I know you keep bugging me about what's going on in the Sin series, but as my editor, she already gets to read that first. I already warned her I was going to put a mic on her on the cruise, so I think she's hiding from me unless she has to. So I know you said you started writing. Is that going to be another series, or are you doing any standalones?
Another bit of coaching. So I will say I've got to be one of the worst pupils ever because I just was so resistant to everything she told me, and she's very good at successful writer, making a career of it, and I can't say that I know better. I just know what works for me, and her advice was to, kind of just write another series just like this. And, that's totally reasonable advice. And I know a bunch of authors do really well with that. And I applaud them because I absolutely can't do it.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
But that is to say I couldn't take probably the most helpful advice just because of who I am, which is the story of my life. But the advice I did take the long way around to answer your question is this is going to be a trilogy. Okay. So I'm kind of splitting the difference of and she did say plan for 3 books and then, kind of leave it open if it does well. So, and that's something I have not done in the past. I just kind of start a series. I'm like, I'll just write it. I'm going to write it forever because everyone's going to love it. And it's been getting bigger fan. This has a bigger fandom than Dead Mall did. But not to the point where they're a career sustaining kind of franchise.
Right.
So
yeah, you're not Nora Roberts turning JD Robb with 62 books in the Eve Dallas series, which I happen to love. My mom got me into that one, and I like police procedurals. So
yeah. It's watching,
but it's set in 2060, 2061.
Oh, cool.
And so it's set real world, but it's got technology from the future, and so they'll call it the sweepers instead of the forensic people and different things. So they'll have technology we don't have. So it's got almost a little bit of a futuristic, slightly paranormal feel to it, but it's still real world. Mm-hmm. Murder is still murder. Yeah. So we have talked about that. You actually mostly do series.
I do, yeah. I like the idea. I had a mind to do one standalone, but 1, I couldn't get my head around it, and 2, it was cozy fantasy, so it wasn't real world set. So that might be something for a pen name or maybe just a passion project down the road.
And we've talked about this, you're more TV series or mini series, and I'm more just a movie. Yeah. I want the beginning, middle, and end and be done. I want just wrap it up, let's go.
Do it.
But at the same time, series is a lot more sustaining, especially for a career writer, which is why, even though I have thankfully had people that like Partners in Crime, and I love that book so much, I read it in 8 days.
Yeah.
people will be like, "What's your favorite?" And I'm like, "Oh, I should totally sell you on the series," but but because of that, that's more my style. However, if people like it, then great. But if they're like me and they want more standalones, I have one standalone, right, and the series. Whereas people are like, "When's the next one coming out? When's the next one? When's the next one?" Yeah, and with the series, that's a little bit easier.
Yeah,
because you do have more, and people get invested in the characters.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had a lot of people say that they're sad that this is ending. I'm hoping I can resurrect it in some way. I also had someone request. Well, actually, I can't say because it's a spoiler for that. But
requests have been made.
One of my readers, one of my advanced readers, kind of made a request about a spin-off book, possibly a standalone, that I'd already been considering. So that's probably going to be something in the Misadventure universe.
Well, and companion novels are definitely a thing.
Yeah, it would be kind of
a 4-book series that I had planned to make as a trilogy, and then I thought I had a companion. And then all of a sudden I had this like random breakthrough, and I went, "Oh my god, this is actually just the 4th book," because it answered questions I didn't even know were in the first 3. And but as soon as I realized it, I'm like, "Oh, that's so good." And now I'm like, I can't wait to finish what I'm working on because I need to get to that series because I want to write the last book, and I have to write the first 3 to get there.
I love it when things surprise you. Like the end of this book, like the big final twist, I did not realize it was coming until my second to last revision before it went to ARC readers. And then I realized what it should be, like what should happen versus what was there. And when I looked back at like what I had written, I realized I could change just a very few little things, and it was already there. I just needed the big reveal and to fix a couple of details. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I feel insane right now.
Well, you read Partners in Crime.
I did.
The end, I did not know who was going to make it to the end until I wrote that scene. Because there were 3, more or less 3 options. And obviously I can't say what they were because it sort of gives it away, but there were so many different potential meanings to partners in crime. And my brain is going, does one person make it? 2 or do all 3 people make it? Like, who's going to finish what's going to happen?
That.
And I was writing that book like hi Liz. Elizabeth I met in Montana last year.
Hello.
She's another author too.
Hi.
But as I was writing it, like a reader. People, my husband, you guys have heard me talk about him before. When he was wandering by the office, and he's like, "So how's this going? You know, what's going on?" I'm like, one more chapter, just one more chapter. I swear I'll go to bed. I know it's 3:00 in the morning, but one more chapter. I kept writing because that's how we get lost in the story, and you're discovering things every time as you're writing it. And so I'm like, I've got to know. So that's always fun, especially
I
when
love it when you get to that point. Yeah,
and it surprises you.
See, that's why I write series, because like I spend a lot of time building. Like I said, right now I'm kind of doing stream of consciousness for Medusa, and I'll do something similar for the Minotaur because they're the 2 main characters. But like I spend a lot of time doing that base work, and then once I have it, I just can I don't have to redo it every single book. Like I can just keep that in the background.
And then once you have that foundation, it is easier. I'm learning with series, and we were talking about this a few days ago, that when I write the new book and I start the new books, and anybody that's read the Sin series, you're aware of this, from book 1 to book 2. The end of book 1 and the beginning of book 2 is literally like the next second. Book 3 starts the same way. For those of you guys that remember the end of book 2, book 3 is going to pick up exactly where book 2 stopped. So I spend all this time kind of going back and making sure that it was the same before as it is now, and it blends together. And you got to make sure that if there is some sort of giant deluge happening, you don't hi Chris, thanks for hanging out with us. You don't, like, there's going to be some sort of giant torrential downpour. You don't want them walking along on a lovely spring evening in the very next book, because something's missing on that.
Yeah, someone's going to catch it. Some eagle-eyed reader is going to be like, hey.
And to be honest, if you've got somebody who buys the whole series and they're enjoying it, and they don't even have to be that like careful, they're just picking up going, I missed something here.
Yeah.
But when, especially me, I write so many different things simultaneously. that I'll go back and I'll be like, it's been like 6 months, but I'm good. I'm ready to jump back into this. And then, where were we? What were they doing? Who knows what about who now? And so I have like all these notes because it's funny, going forward, I know what's going to happen. But as soon as I write it, I forget what happened.
Yep. Have you ever... So this one, of the 4 books, this one's the only like full dual POV I did with like 2 first-person POVs. Mm-hmm. And it was the most difficult thing to keep track of like which one of them knew what and what they had said to each other. And like, because they're in different places and they only come back together so often. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's like they have to have catch-up sessions. And I'm like, it was so hard to keep track of, like, did they share this with each other? Does one of them know it and the other one doesn't? Or, like, yeah.
Well, and then you've got the one where somebody knows something and somebody else sees something, but they maybe misinterpret it, or they hear it secondhand, or, you know, third-party information.
Yeah.
And so, okay, who said it and knows it, and who has the wrong interpretation?
Right, yeah.
And who's going to, like, get upset, and then the other person has to like talk them off the ledge.
Yeah, and who knows that they know?
Yes, so it's
who doesn't know that they know.
We are doing good. We are we're doing very good right now. We're playing cocktail hour, so we are having a lot of fun. So if you guys do have questions, definitely reach out, ask. We are hanging out. If you guys are just joining, this is SG Tosh, and you guys know me, Mackenzie Knight. We are hanging out at the Deadwood Meadery in Henderson, drinking delicious cocktails, and talking all about book launch and her series. But if you have questions about my suspense thrillers, mostly about her urban fantasy and a little bit darker, and you have some romance elements in yours too.
I do, definitely, especially this one for sure, as you can tell from
the lovebirds,
the heart. Yes, they are crows, but. Yes, there are 2 of them on this one. They all have a different symbol because there's 4 of them. So this one's got the spade, the diamond, the club, and the heart. For them.
Yeah, in case you guys can't tell from Vegas, of course. Although I'm going to have a bunch of the gaming symbolism too when I go to Atlantic City.
Makes sense. Yeah,
so I'm going to get to toy with that a little bit, but
yeah.
Big events. I know you just came off of Convergence.
I did,
and that was the first like that size one for you.
Yeah, that was the first. I think that was. I'm trying to remember back in my not super long history of doing live events, but weirdly like storied and varied. I think that was my first major like fandom. I don't want to call it geek nerd convention, but I self-identify as a nerd, so I can say that. But
you do. I'm actually like the odd nerd because nerds and geeks are cool. Thank you, Big Bang Theory. And as much as I love Big Bang Theory and anybody that says hi, Elizabeth. But as much as I love it and I get all the jokes and everything, I've never realized how uncool anti-nerd I am and anti-fandom I am. And it's not that I'm against it, I just don't have one. And people would be like, well, what's your favorite movie series? What's your favorite, like, who's the author you would dress up as? And I'm like, I'm other than hockey, which, hockey girl. So we're both hockey, for sure. Yeah. And my mom is...
I'm also football. Not the Raiders.
Oh, no, definitely hard pass on the Raiders. But when my mom comes out in November, she's coming for Author Nation because James Patterson's going to be here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm taking her. I got us on the list to go and actually get to meet him.
Oh, nice.
But she's from Michigan, and the Detroit Red Wings will be here playing the Golden Knights while she's in town. So I
be interesting.
Well, the last time she was here, the Knights lost. So I'm aiming
Was it last year?
No, it was a couple years ago. But I'm aiming for redemption, Mom, just so you know.
I haven't seen the Knights win in live in a while.
Okay, well, Mr. Madden there is also a giant jinx when it comes to live games. So I'm going to ban both of you from watching for a while.
I didn't used to be. They were just bad last year. Whatever. I'm not. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm like 50-50 last year, but
Last year was bad. Last year was
Elizabeth says she's a football girly. Who's your team,
Who?
Elizabeth? 'Cause we're both Midwest, but
I don't want to say mine because
I can say the Lions the last 2 years, but
yeah, but everybody likes the Lions because
they're underdogs and you have to cheer for the underdogs.
Oh,
At the same time,
Lions!
yeah,
You're trying so hard.
I used to have the T-shirt that says "I'm a lion, hear me roar, meow,"
Yeah.
and so yeah, I've had a few of those. So I pick on them, but I grew up with the Lions, so I'm a hockey girl. That is my justification as to how I became a hockey girl.
I grew up in Minnesota, and I wasn't a hockey person until I came here.
You picked the better one.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. I'm also not a Vikings person, so
I mean, teach their own. I watch football. I've played fantasy for years. I don't mind
I
it.
can't play fantasy. I don't. It doesn't work for me.
You know what it is? It made me have something to do during other games when the team, my team wasn't playing.
See, I've now gotten to the point where I can just put on football and watch it almost no matter who's playing. There are definitely matchups where I'm like, I literally couldn't care less about this. Usually I can find something to like pay attention to.
She said the Redskins.
Okay. I'm Green Bay Packers, so I don't think there's any animosity much. Not as much as some teams could be, so that's good.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of bandwagon Raiders fans here.
Yeah.
I think I'm more like an anti-fan when it comes to football. There's teams I cheer against.
Oh yeah,
and I'm kind of torn this year for those that know football. I like Pete Carroll as a coach. I don't necessarily like the Seahawks, but I just like him as a person. I respected him as a coach, but I just can't bring myself to cheer for the Raiders.
See, I'm the opposite. I support in the loosest possible terms the Raiders because they're Vegas, and I just, as a rule, support Vegas. I didn't support them when they were in Oakland because I don't care. Pete Carroll was party to one of the worst losses the Packers ever suffered.
But
it was horrifying, and I will never forgive him for that.
However,
and I only remember the one, but I'm pretty sure there were more than one.
She said as long as you're not an Eagles fan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, I like Pete Carroll for one reason. And it's not because I'm a Brady fan. I'm not a Brady fan. I'm so happy he retired. But the year that the Eagles, see, you messed me up. The year that the Seahawks were like, oh, we're going to throw an interception into the end zone and lose the Super Bowl. It's the only sports bet I've ever made, and it's just because everybody took the Seahawks. And I'm like, I'm going to take the Patriots just to be annoying, just to be that little kid and poke the bear all day. And the Patriots won because of that call. And I'm like, you know what? You actually won me money by making a horrible call, and I'm okay with it. So,
all right, I guess I can see that argument.
But
I will never forgive you, Pete Carroll.
So
you could win a Super Bowl this year, and I'm still mad.
I'm indifferent, I think, to the actual Raiders. I'm indifferent to pretty much all of it, but I like to cheer against certain teams just because it's fun.
Yeah. Which I will say, I'm not an Eagles fan, but they're always the team that I end up cheering for against somebody else in the Super Bowl. They've done it twice now. I was cheering against Kansas City because I don't believe in three-peat. I think it's annoying. And I was cheering against them when they won against the Patriots in the Super Bowl because also annoying.
I was cheering for them against the Patriots.
Yeah, but as a rule, I don't really care about the Eagles.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
How did we get on this?
I don't know.
We were talking about convergence, and now we've spent 10 minutes on football.
Because football season started.
What happened?
This is what happens anytime we get together, to be perfectly honest.
That's
This is
true.
why we always start with an idea. We usually have talking points. The last time we got together, the last time we did our coffee house tours admin, I literally had like a checklist
Oh,
of
sure.
things to talk about.
Yeah, you have
because
to.
we do this.
It's a meeting. Yeah.
But we'll sit there and we'll just get off on a tangent, and all of a sudden we're like, wait, what were we talking about?
Yeah. This is why y'all should come to the Las Vegas Book Festival, because we're sharing a table. So
Yeah, always a good idea.
poor Deanna, she's our third person.
I says, I haven't announced it yet, but I will see you. Yay! You had mentioned that you were going to be coming to one of them, so Book Blast in Dallas next year.
I think I'm waitlisted for that.
Well, I know there are people that definitely back out, and so hopefully you get to come.
We'll see.
I hope she gets to
Mine
come,
too.
because then we all have to go and hang out. We had so much fun hanging out in Montana. There were only like 20 authors, but we had a good time.
That's good. I mean, you can't plan for like how an event is going to go.
Oh, no,
So you always just have to find a way to have a good time.
We were in Billings, Montana.
Yeah.
We none of us, I think, expected it to be like 800 people like Salem. But I mean, we all had a good time. She said it's my fault I mentioned football.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
We were
football,
already on hockey.
Yeah, if
so-
it wasn't football, we were going to get off on some.
Yeah, and I think I also mentioned football, so it was dual effort. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Convergence.
Yes, Convergence was a big one for you.
It was a big one. For those of you that don't know, Convergence is a 4-day fandom convention, all sorts of fandoms in Minneapolis, and I was there selling the whole time, and it was good. And so my next big one is they're all in Vegas except for one. The next big one I have is the Grimoire Academy.
Yep.
On the 20th. That is at the convention center. So I think that's going to be like a large event, but it's just one day.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the first time they're doing it in Vegas. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm kind of using her as my tester. 'Cause
Yeah.
I
then-
want to do that one too.
Yeah. And then I've got the book festival on October 18th, and October 25th, I'm going to be at Authors in the Haunted City in New Orleans, which will be the first time I sign there. So
And New Orleans, especially for our type of genres, is great. Because you saw me turn Poe into a bird beignet, and I have already challenged her with her bat. Guillermo now just needs to become a bat beignet.
yes, and he will. Oh, he will.
But yeah, New Orleans is a ball, and being there in October, I imagine with the haunted stuff is going to be very cool.
Yes. I don't get to spend long because Sin City Writers Group has our Halloween party on the Tuesday right after it. So I'll
Okay.
be like in and out.
You'll be back again.
But it'll be a couple of days. And then kind of unrelated, in a couple of weeks, I go to Dragon Con as a volunteer, just to kind of check it out to see.
She's
if-
reconning for
I'm
us.
reconning. I'm doing some recon.
And then for anybody in the author world, AWP, the American Writer Program, they're a huge convention. The big annual convention is in Baltimore next year. And Sarah and I, along with L.R. Friedman, Lauren Friedman, and Harmka Bursma, who's another member of our group here in Las Vegas, we have put up a potential panel. And this is actually the first Sarah's hearing about this. We are finalists. So we have not been chosen yet, but we have
I had
moved on
heard we had not been kicked out yet.
we've not been kicked out, but by the end of the month, we should know if we are going to be presenting. And so this was my big little surprise for you.
that'd be so cool. It's a great topic too.
It is.
And I think it's one that doesn't get enough attention.
And going back to what you were talking about with the coaching and
Yeah.
Pick a Lane, we're both multi-genre authors. I mean, you guys know I have 2, soon to be 3 pen names covering a variety of genres. Lauren has several, Harmka has several, and you write in several genres.
I do.
And so we're
technically, yes, I do, even though they're all urban fantasy. They
But
are all-
still, I mean, there's so many subgenres and there's so many sub-subgenres that going back to all of that, we're going to be hopefully presenting marketing styles, techniques, and strategies for authors like us who refuse to pick a lane, who decide to drive all over the highway. And
or if you're like me, are sort of like, I'll pick a bundle of lanes, and I won't go in some, but I'll stick to these like 3. That's the best I can do.
And Elizabeth, yes, Poe will definitely take a picture with Kyra, I apologize if I'm saying it wrong, but in Dallas next year for sure. And I'm sure he will have his cowboy get up on because we will be in Dallas.
That's so good, yeah.
And we have to make sure, because I've been having panic attacks, and thank you to everybody who keeps mentioning it. I've already thought about it and had about 18,000 panic attacks about it. I will have a leash, a collar and a leash on him, and his little parka while I'm on the cruise ship. I refuse to let him fall over the side of the cruise ship.
That is very. Why would people even say that?
So
It's
I
upsetting.
found a way to put a collar on him, and then that leash that I always have on the table, and then put a little parka over it, so that he will be tethered to me the entire
Oh
time.
my god.
Well, because other people apparently have panic attacks at the thought of my bird disappearing, just
Oh,
like I do.
that's really nice.
So yes, Poe is continuing to make a name for himself, and most of our group at this point has our own little sidekick animals.
Yes, it's true.
So anytime you see any of us, we will have them.
Yes.
If you guys are in Las Vegas, there are more and more events coming here. For you, Elizabeth, there is the Flirty in Las Vegas, which is put on by the same group that's doing Book Blast in Dallas. And we have the Be Love Spread Love, which is next weekend, and then Love in Vegas actually this year from Wild and Windy Events is the same weekend as the Las Vegas Book Festival.
Wow.
So the strip is going to have literary lovers, and we are going to have a bunch of people. So they are almost a purely romance. We have a lot more variety, but there's also a lot of book festivals that are starting to crop up all over the West Coast and the Southwest. So I am sure you will see the two of us out on the road coming up, because I think we're just really kind of looking for excuses to road trip and take our books and go have some adventures with our animals.
Yep.
But before we get off on yet another sports tangent, because we will, or we just refill our glasses, because that will also happen. Well, anytime you want to come to Vegas, Elizabeth, I have a guest room waiting for you. But thank you guys for joining us. We're going to go ahead and sign off so we can get our refills and get to just other business that's actually business versus the fun we've been having. But thank you for hanging out. And we will talk to you guys. I know I will see you next Friday, and I'm sure we will be hanging out with you guys again soon. So see you guys later. Bye.